Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Miss Master Self 101. Today, you guys get a uh, today you guys get a 2-for-1 video. Y'all know I don't do no edits on these videos, right? So you kind of get to get me in the raw. I love that. You get a 2-for-1 video today because previously we were discussing how to set yourself up to receive. And inside of that video, we hit a really good point when we got to talking about perspective and how to skew your perspective if you are naturally a negative thinker. I didn't really want to elaborate too much in that video because I didn't want a video to go on for too long. So I decided to make a second video. So here we are now. And as always, I am going to start off with our affirmation for the day. Even though this is still the same day, but it's still a new video and it's not getting uploaded on the same day. So I'm still going to make sure I give you guys that good value. So let's see what else the universe has for us today. All right. Affirmation for the day. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Get a mentor. Get a therapist. Ooh, I got the chills. I actually am a very big advocate for therapy. So affirmation again is you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Get a mentor, get a therapist, get someone you are safe with opening up to and talk to them. A lot of the times when you sit in something for too long, you stop smelling it. Y'all ever seen that video? She's just one famous actress. She come in so many different movies, y'all, and she always plays this loudmouth person. I think her name was Loretta on that movie Think Like a Man, where Kevin Hart was like, Miss Loretta, I'm ready for the rest of the tour. Yeah, her. She's good. Like in real life, she said, baby, when you sit in ish for too long, you stop smelling it. You ever been in a funky room? When you first walk into the room, it's super funky, but after you've been in there for about a minute or two, it's not as funky as it was. The funk really don't hit your nostrils like they did before. Same thing. You cannot see the picture when you're sitting inside of the frame. So a lot of the times we need people who we are comfortable with and safe with to open up to and to talk to, because a lot of the times they can give us some insight on what it is just based off of looking from the outside than it is from on the inside. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and start with the video. So we want to talk about skewing perspective. I don't really have many talking notes for this one today, so we're kind of going to do it off the dome. So if I get a little scattered brain, y'all bear with me, because sometimes so many thoughts run through my brain and it's just going too fast for my mouth to get it out. So when it comes to skewing your perspective, it is always mental. It's going to start with your thinking, literally. You can't speak without thinking, literally. So the first thing you need to do is some analysis of yourself. If you're not sure if you are naturally a negative thinker, ask yourself a few questions. Ask yourself, do I think positively or negatively? Ask yourself, do I see things as half empty or half full? Would other people around me, would my closest friend or my family member, would they say that I am more optimistic or pessimistic and cynical? Because a lot of the time, the closest ones that are around us that see us on an everyday basis, you know they have the insight to who we really are, right? So ask them. That'll give you a good perspective on it. If you come to the conclusion that, okay, maybe I am naturally, a negative thinker, or I just want to get some of this negative thinking patterns out of me, okay, now we could start somewhere, because now we're being honest with ourselves. The next thing we want to move on to is our thinking. If you have a lot of negativity in the mind, you have to figure out ways to release it. Yes, affirmations are one way, and they are very effective, but there are still lots of other ways, such as movement. You need to get out. You need to walk. You need to get in the sun. You need to go to the beach. You need to detox. You need to go do some grounding. You need to go walk through some nature. Go to your local park, like a conservation type park, and go walk through it and smell the air and feel the environment and feel the sun tapping on your skin, and take your shoes off and walk in the grass for a little bit. You need some grounding. You need some physical release. You need some help. You need a push so that you can get that out quicker, so that you can get what you do want inside of you a lot quicker. So thinking. Now, this is the part that is, I think, the most arduous, because you have to consciously always be aware of how you're thinking and how you're feeling and the things that you are saying. How does that look? Before you speak, stop, pause. Before you say it, think about it and ask yourself, is this positive or negative? And if it's negative, don't say it. If it's positive, of course, say it. But if it's negative, or if you're not sure, don't say it. That's the part that's hard. And it's not a hard task. It's easy. But when you're in everyday life and things happen and emotions arise, especially if you're in an angry state, you know, sometimes people can't manage their emotions. Sometimes I'm a victim of that. Well, I don't want to use victim. I don't like that word. But sometimes I'm guilty of that. Like if I'm in the moment and I get really passionate about something and emotional about it, my responses are going to come off not as best as they would have had I would have thought about it before. They kind of just roll right off my tongue. And you know, we can't take words back at the end of the day. So we have to be very careful. So when you're thinking, before you say something, you want to ask yourself, is this positive? Is this negative? Is this helping me? Is this harming me? Is this going somewhere towards my goal? Is it not? If it is, do it. If it's not, don't. It's that simple. But being conscious of it, you always have to stop yourself. And when you mess up, don't beat yourself up. Y'all don't beat yourself up. Think about the amount of time that it took for you to develop who you are today. However old you are, it took that amount of time for you to develop this. Now, I'm not saying that to say it's going to take the same amount for you to undo it. But what I am saying is that it's going to take time. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to take a couple of days. It's not going to take a couple of weeks. Baby, it probably won't take a couple of months. Okay? So if you're looking for a quick fix, this is not the channel for you. I'm going to give you the real information and exactly how processes and how the body and the mind works. Okay? To truly master something, you're going to need some time. Time is going to be your best friend. And in this situation, consciously thinking and consciously speaking is going to take some time. So that's where you're going to start. You're going to start with your thinking and think, is this right and is this not? And if it's not, don't say it. Next, speaking. Right before you say it out your mouth, stop yourself. Think about it actively before you say it. If it's not something that's going towards your goal, don't say it. Right? Okay. Now, let's talk about when we get to the part where we actually have to skew our perspective. When I say skew your perspective, from seeing something that could be seen as negative, we need to figure out a way to see it as positive. Always try to see things as they could be, not as they are. And from our previous video, we had an affirmation that said that attitude is more important than facts. And that is a fact to this last statement that I just said. You always want to see things as they could be, not things as they are. In this sense, relationship-wise, you need to trust what you see. Okay? But somebody get on here and saying, well, you know, Katima said, Miss Master Self said that I need to see things as they could be. And you could have potential. So I'm a that's different. I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there in your tracks. Okay, back to the subject, y'all. See things as they could be and not see things as they are. So that's kind of like the whole half empty, half full. You have a glass. We're gonna pretend that we right here with our juice. Is this glass half empty or is this glass half full? That's what I'm talking about. So skewing the perspective now, that's kind of something that has to be done consciously as well, just like the thinking and the speaking. Because when you see something, because you already have the thinking patterns that are already set in their ways inside of your brain, and they've been set that way for years, you're going to see something and you may automatically, you don't even have to think about it because it's your subconscious mind that's working right here. You automatically go to something negative. That's the part that's hard. That's the part when you recognize that you're automatically going to negative, that's when you have to stop yourself, reevaluate the situation, whatever it is, and find something positive out of it, whatever it may be. Find something positive. Because right now you're in the stages of rewiring your brain and your thinking patterns. So you must find something positive about whatever that is. And that, my friend, literally is how you're going to skew your perspective. It's nothing else to it. It is literally that simple. Always find something positive to say. Trust me. When you start operating more so out of positivity, your perspective automatically becomes more positive as well. So that's what I was saying, like when you're actively thinking, hold on, y'all, need me a little snack. That's what I was saying, when you are actively thinking and when you are actively speaking, you're going to have to do that for yourself. So, y'all want to go through some examples? I should have wrote some down. Should have wrote some notes for real about this. Hold on, y'all. My grapes have seeds in them. Red seeded grapes. We talked about this on the Detox Your Body video. One of the strongest and most powerful fruits. Make sure they're organic. Make sure they have seeds. If they don't have seeds, your body don't need. Write that down as an affirmation too. So good. I never had red seeded grapes that just wasn't so sweet. It's so good and juicy. Okay, so some examples. Let's use the grapes for an example. I don't have no old ones because I always take those out. Suppose you get a grape. Let's use this piece of fruit. You see this fruit and you automatically, this is a star fruit. And if you know star fruit, you know that this piece is overripe. It's overly ripe. So when you see this, you may automatically think like, ew, that's a little too ripe. It almost look rotten, right? To skew your perspective on this, you're going to say, wow, this piece right here has matured so long. Look how juicy it is. Oh my God, look at that color. Look how deep the color is on that thing. I'm not too sure I'll eat it, but what I will do is put it in my plants to give it some extra nutrients. Did you see how I just did that? That's how you skew your perspective. Let me see if I can find something else near me. This flower. These dry flowers. Let me pick them up. Y'all always have flowers around. I love flowers. Dry, living, dead, doesn't matter. So I have some roses, right? Somebody see these roses and they'll be like, girl, what you doing with them old roses? They all crispy and, girl, the rose down there, his face looking down, looking all sad and depressed. Girl, you need to throw that out. I saw something completely different. I saw beauty. I saw something that lasts forever. I saw something that I took my time to preserve it and I dried it out perfectly and it looks wonderful. And it's to the point where it's not fall. It's to the point where it's not falling and making a mess all over. I think it's beautiful. And then I add a little bit of fresh cinnamon powder right on top. And I use it as a decoration in my home to add in decor. And it makes me just, I don't know, it makes me feel very witchy. It makes me feel good. Did you see how I skewed that perspective? Okay, that's how it goes. Say you're driving down the street and you're in your car and the car in front of you presses on, slams on their brakes because they're not paying attention because they're texting and driving. And your first reaction is to get completely upset and irate, you know, and to just start talking mess. Versus where you skew your perspective and you say something like, oh my God, I'm so glad that nothing happened. We almost got into an accident, but it didn't occur. I hope this person learns their lesson, you know. I hope they're doing okay. They must be going through some kind of emergency or something. I don't know, but I hope they make it safe to wherever they're going. Did you see how I skewed that perspective? Because a natural, normal person is not. They're going to be ready to get out the car. You just slammed on your brakes almost. Almost. It didn't happen though. Almost. That, my friend, is how you skew your perspective. And those are just a few simple, examples just off the top of the dome. And I can do that with anything. You get to the point where you can start to think positively about anything, and it happens automatically for me now. I don't have to work for it. I don't consciously have to think, okay, before I say this is positive and this. I don't have to do that no more. It just comes out that way. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to too. You got to master that. Master learning how to skew your perspective to see things as positive, see things as they could be, and not what you think you see them as they are. So guys, I know this one was a shorty, but it was a goodie. And I look forward to spending some time with you guys on the next video. I have a bomb topic coming up next, so stay tuned. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notification bell so you know as soon as I drop that one. All right, y'all, until next time.